Hi dear friends, in this session we are going to discuss about solution of an LP problem using Big M method. Coming to the learning objectives, after this session you should be able to define the surplus and artificial variables, understand framework of the Big M method, solve an LP problem using Big M method. Surplus variable. A variable subtracted from the left hand side, that is LHS of a constraint of greater than or equal type, so as to convert it into equation is known as a surplus variable. For example, if the constraint given is 3x1 plus 4x2 is greater than or equal to 10, then 3x1 plus 4x2 minus s1 can be written as an equation that is equal to 10, where s1 is the surplus variable. So it is a variable which is subtracted from LHS of an inequality of greater than or equal type. So if it is lesser than or equal means we used to add, that was called as slack variable. So surplus means, so it is a variable which is subtracted from LHS, that is left hand side of a constraint which is of greater than or equal type. It is designated with small s. S1 is the surplus variable in the example taken. So this is the constraint. To consider or to treat this as an equation, no? So you need to subtract something because LHS is more than RHS, hence you have to subtract something from LHS. That's what is about surplus variable. Here it is greater than, LHS is greater than RHS, hence to consider or to count this as an equation, something is to be subtracted from LHS. Such variable is called as a surplus variable. Coming to the artificial variable, a variable which does not have any physical meaning but which is used to get an identity basis matrix in the starting simplex table of an LPP with the constraints having greater than or equal and equal type is known as an artificial variable. A variable which does not have any physical meaning. So in other words, it is virtual, but which is used to get an identity basis matrix in the starting simplex table of an LPP with the constraints having greater than or equal and equal type is an artificial variable. So in the sense, so it is a variable which will not have any physical significance or physical meaning. So just to use the or just to employ the simplex method or to get the identity basis matrix in the starting simplex table, so it will be added or it will be taken into consideration. So let us see with an example what is this. An example, if x1 plus x2 is equals to 3, okay, of course it is a constraint or you can treat this as an equation also. Then to get the identity basis matrix, in other words to employ the simplex method, so you are supposed to have identity basis matrix in the starting simplex table. Then this should be written as x1 plus x2 plus a1 is equals to 3. However, this is equation only. Okay, so just to get that identity basis as I have told, so a1 is the artificial variable. So artificial variables are used whenever the constraint is exactly equation or is of greater than or equal type. Let us see that in a numerical. So then what is this Big M or penalty method? Big M method is also called as penalty method. It is nothing but the simplex method only with the extension of the concept. So in the previous session, we have seen simplex method with less than or equal type constraint. In general, the constraint of an LPP may have greater than or equal and equal signs also. In such cases, artificial variables and slack variables both are used. Okay, this method is known as big M method or penalty method. It is nothing but okay, big M simplex method also you can call. Only the difference is in the plain simplex method, the constraints were of less than or equal type only. But in general, no, the constraint may have greater than or equal type or maybe equation type also. We assign a large penalty which is referred as big M. Big M or penalty, okay, with coefficient minus m to an artificial variable in the objective function. Okay, the artificial variables thus used are eliminated gradually in the process to obtain the optimum or optimal solution. So let us have a look about this. Big M or a penalty is assigned, okay, with coefficient minus m to an artificial variable, okay, in the objective function, that is minus m a1 or something like. Let us see that in the numerical. So the artificial variable is just added or is considered to apply the method or to get some standard form of the matrix. Later on, it will be eliminated in the process gradually to obtain the optimal solution or in obtaining the optimal solution. Now let us take a numerical or a worked example on this concept. Use penalty or big M method to maximize z equals to 6x1 plus 4x2 subject to the constraints 2x1 plus 3x2 less than or equal to 30, 3x1 plus 2x2 less than or equal to 24, whereas x1 plus x2 greater than or equal to 3, x1 and x2 being greater than or equal to 0. Now we are supposed to solve this problem using big M or penalty method. Let us have a look about the objective function. It is in the maximization form. So the same concept is applicable of simplex method here also. I mean, always the objective function you have to keep it in the maximization form. If not, you have to convert that into a maximization form, just multiplying with minus sign. So always z should be of maximization type, that is called standard form. Okay, so hence it is in the as it is in the standard form, no need to convert. That is one thing that you have to analyze of the objective function. Now coming to the constraints, see, constraints are lesser than or equal type. Again, they are also lesser than or equal, but this is greater than or equal. So if the constraint was only lesser than or equal, only slack variables you are supposed to add. Plain simplex method was applicable for such problems. But here, lesser than or equal you have, greater than or equal also you have. Whenever a constraint is of lesser than or equal, we add the slack variable to consider or to count that as an equation. Whereas whenever it is greater than or equal type, surplus variables and artificial variables will come into the picture. Now coming to the solution part, first thing is convert the inequalities into the equations by adding slack, surplus and there are artificial variables. So for example, the first one, 2x1 plus 3x2. So as something is less than or equal means you have to add something to LHS, no? Is a slack variable that we discussed about in the previous session, plus u1 equals to 30, 3x1 plus 2x2 plus u2 equals to 24, where u1 and u2 are the slack variables, and x1 plus x2 is greater than or equal to 3. So here, so something is to be subtracted from LHS as we discussed to count or to consider this as an equation. Hence x1 plus x2 minus s1, where s1 is the slack variable, plus a1 you have to add. Whenever it is greater than or equal, no, you have to add plus a1 along with this minus s1, no, you have to add plus a1, where a1 is the artificial variable. If it is plain equation, like an example that we discussed, x1 plus x2 equals to 3, suppose if it was, so then x1 plus x2 plus a1 we are supposed to take. As it is greater than or equal type something, we are subtracting, and this is only the artificial variable. A1 is the artificial variable, which is not having any physical significance or physical meaning in real. Okay. So here only minus s1 was sufficient, but just to get the identity basis, so this we have taken. Of course, this will be eliminated in the process of the simplex method. So this is constructed, converted as equation, converted as equation, converted as equation. Always you please note that whenever it is greater than or equal, you will get surplus variable as well as artificial variable into the picture. So the modified objective function involving these variables, of course x1 and x2 are the basic variables. You have to write them as they are. 6x1 plus 4x2. How many slack variables we have? u1 and u2, 0 u1, 0 u2, plus 0 s1 you have to write. Okay. So here what is new here is s1, that is slack variable, and minus m into a1. That's what, okay, you have discussed in the beginning. Okay, you have to add an artificial variable. Okay, so we assign a large penalty, that is big M, with coefficient minus m to an artificial variable in the objective function. So the artificial variable thus is to, okay, will be eliminated, of course. So this is 6x1 plus 4x2 plus 0 u1 plus 0 u2 plus 0 s1 you have to write. Okay. So there is no point of writing minus 0 s1. Okay. So this is plus only. Minus m. M is the big M. Okay. It is like big M. Hence the method is called big M method. It is a huge value. Minus m is the coefficient of artificial variable. Please note that a1 is the artificial variable. Minus m is the coefficient of that particular artificial variable. This is the standard form of objective function in case of using big M method. Minus m is the coefficient, okay, of artificial variable. Now let us have some observations or note. Okay, if the constraint is less than or equal type, add only the slack variable. If the constraint is greater than or equal, subtract the surplus variable as we did in the current problem and add an artificial variable. And if the constraint is exactly equation, so like in the example that you have taken, add only the artificial variable. Fine. Then one more observation or one more note you have. Okay. So please note that, so you are supposed to consider only the slack and artificial variables, not the surplus variables. So in case of simplex method, we have considered only the slack variables, but here you have to consider slack and artificial variables in the basis column, that is the first column CB, no, of the first simplex table. Okay. So remove the artificial variable from the table whenever it becomes leaving variable in the process. Of course, it will leave. That's why it is called as artificial variable. So gradually, so it will leave. Or, so the artificial variable may exist in the basis, but with its B. B means RHS equal to 0. No issue with that. Okay. Either it should exist from the table, or it should take the value of 0. That is, B means RHS, no, right hand side, okay, equals to 0. So please take a note of this. Fine. In the basis of first simplex table, you have to write only slack and artificial variables. That is one thing. And you have to remove the artificial variable from the table. Okay. If not, so I mean, if it is not removed, also no issue. But only thing is, so you should take the value of B, that is RHS, as 0. Now let us continue this one. Simplex table 1. So as we discussed, basis, no, slack. How many slack variables you have? 2 slack variables and 1 artificial variable. Fine. So then coefficients of the basis is, okay, you have to take reference of the objective function. This is 0. This is 0. What is the this one? Coefficient of artificial variable, that is minus m in the beginning table. Okay. So that's what you have to recall the objective function here. Objective function means this one. A1 coefficient is minus 1. U1 coefficient, okay, U2 coefficient, okay, you have taken. And you are not supposed to take surplus variable in the basis as we discussed in the note. Fine. Okay, this is basis u1, u2, a1. So you please recall the simplex table. It is very similar to that. These notations are also of same type. CB x1, x2. Okay, what is x1, x2? Basic variables. u1, u2, slack variables. I mean other variables. All variables you have to list here. x1, x2, u1, u2. S1 is the surplus variable, but here it will come in the row, it will come not in the column, surplus variable. A1 is the artificial variable. B is the RHS of the equation or constraint. Ratio you keep it pending. Now you have to write all these values. CB, as I told, 0, 0, minus m. All these values, no, okay, just you have to take from the first constraint. First constraint, so it was probably, okay, 2x1 plus 3x2 plus u1, something like, is equal to 30. You have to recall the first constraint. Then this is second constraint. The equation will start from this and it will end here. That is right from x1 to b. B is nothing but RHS. This is a different concept. I mean the ratio. We'll see it later. And of course the third constraint 1, 1, something like 0, 0. S1, no? Okay, minus. Okay, why it is? Okay, you have to refer the constraint. Minus S1 you have added. And A1, no? Okay, that is plus A1 you have written, no? In the constraint, not in the objective function. So what is the coefficient of A1 in the constraint? That is 1, that's all. Okay, so is equal to 3. Now again Cj, no? It is same old way in the sense. So 6, 4, 0, 0 and all. You have to recall this, what is that called? Objective function. 6, 4, 0, 0, 0, minus 1. So there are the objective, I mean coefficients of the objective function. 6, 4, 0, 0, 0, minus m. Okay, Zj is nothing but, okay, the computation of this 1 into this minus m plus this into this plus this into this summation of that respective column. Okay, I mean the product of the respective column with CB plus this one, like, I mean you have to product these two and you have to add to this product and you have to add to this product. In that process, okay, it will be minus m here. Why it is minus m means 1 minus m, that's all. So here also minus m we are going to get. So this is 0, this is 0. Why this is m means minus 1 into minus m. Okay, that is plus 1 here. Okay, all this, okay, we'll get. Then Cj minus Zj, it is just this minus this. Okay, 6 minus of minus m plus m, 4 minus of minus, all this will get. Okay, now what is your observation is, out of all this Cj minus, okay, if all this Cj minus Zj are lesser than or equal to 0 means the solution is optimum, like in simplex method. But here m is a big value, no? 6 plus m is bigger or 4 plus m is bigger? 6 plus m is bigger. You have to identify the highest value of Cj minus Zj. So that is PC. PC stands for pivotal column. Okay. So highest positive value of Cj minus Zj. Now once if you get this PC, no, the ratio you have to get. How do you get the ratio is this B divided by PC. B divided by PC means, so this is 30, 30 divided by 2, 15, 24 divided by 3, that is 8, 3 divided by 1, 3. So corresponding to the ratio, no, the values of ratio, which is the least number, you have to select this 15, 8 and 3. As this is least, like in simplex method, this is PR. PR stands for pivotal row. How to identify pivotal column? So the the value of Cj minus Zj corresponding to highest positive value is PC. Once if you get PC, you can get the ratio, that is 15 by 2, 8 by 3, something like, sorry, this B divided by, what is the equation for ratio? So B divided by pivot column elements. B divided by pivot column elements. Okay. Now, so this is the least ratio, hence this is 3. So intersection element of this PC and this PR will become PE. PE stands for what? Pivotal element or key element. Okay, now as usual, so the variable corresponding to or corresponds to PC, no, is called entry variable. Variable corresponding to PC, that is x1, no, is entry variable. The variable corresponding to PR, that is pivotal row, is leaving variable. What is the meaning of this is, so as it is not positive, I mean as it's not optimal, So you have to move to the second table, no? While moving to the second table, you have to replace this leaving variable, that is LV, with EV. That is first step that you have to perform while moving from simplex table 1 to simplex table 2. So you have to replace LV with EV. In that process, artificial variable will be eliminated, no? That is our requirement also, of course. Fine. So that is one thing. And you have to keep the pivot element 1. You have to keep the pivot element as unity or 1. And all other elements of pivot column, for example, this and this, you have to nullify by using the row operations. That's what we discussed in the simplex table. The mechanism of working is same except this M or artificial variable. That's all. Okay, everything is very similar to the simplex method that we discussed in the previous session. Fine. Now, while moving from simplex table 1 to simplex table 2, I'll recall 3 points here. You have to replace this LV with EV. Then you have to keep pivot element as 1. If not, okay, you have to divide all elements by 1. That element itself. Okay, here coincidentally it is 1, no need to divide anything. Then this and this you have to make it 0 by using the suitable row operations. Okay, so now let us see what is next. Okay, what is your observation or comment here? As all the elements of Cj minus Zj are not lesser than or equal to 0, the solution is not optimal. Hence, we have to move to the next table, revising the basis, that is replacing the LV with EV, keeping the pivot element as unity, making other elements in PC as zeros. PC as this one, no? From where to where? This to this matrix portion. That's all. Not the function portion. This is matrix portion. Fine. Then let us think logically how to make this 0 or this 0. This is very simple. So this is R2, no? See, what we can say is this R2 minus 3R3. 3R3. So that R2 is 3 minus 3 times of 1. It will become 0. What is your objective? This you have to make it 0. No? How we can make it 0? By operating this and this. Always operate preferably with pivotal row. Okay, this minus this you have to make it 0 means as here it is 3. So we can retain as it is, that is R2 minus 3 times of this element. So we will make this position 0. Same thing you have to apply for all this. That is from here to here. Right from x1 to b. B is nothing but RHS. Here, okay, for example, how to nullify or how to make it 0 means, so this is R1 minus 2 times of R3. So like that you have to develop a row operation. That's all. Once if you develop, same thing you have to use from this end to this end. That starting to end, in other words. So how to make this position 0? What is your this one P unity, and making other elements of pieces 0 means, how to make this 0 is very simple. See, 2, that is 2 minus 2 will become 0 now. Okay, so this is 2. You have to generalize that row operation. That is R1, you say. R1 is 2 minus what? This 2 times of R3. Okay, so that 2 minus 2 times of 1 is 2. It will become 0. So then same equation you have to use, same row operation you have to use from here to here. That is R1 minus 2 R3. R1 minus 2 R3. So in that process you will get the simplex table 2. Same thing I have repeated here. Replace A1 by X1. So of course you have to use the appropriate coefficient also for X1. Keep the pivot element, that is P, as 1, and make other 2 elements of the pivot column as 0. See, here what has happened? Artificial variable was eliminated, no? So hence that will not appear here. That is removed. Okay, and it was replaced with X1. And what is the coefficient of X1? So you have to write coefficient of X1 in the objective function. You have to recall coefficient of X1 in the objective function. You please check here. Coefficient of X1 in the objective function is 6. Fine. That coefficient I have written in the table. Fine. We are seeing the simplex table 2, no? Fine. Okay. Simplex table 2. And here also you have to remove that artificial variable because it is eliminated, no? So it was discussed in the beginning itself. Artificial variable will be eliminated in the process. Okay. So CB, X1, X2, U1, U2, S1. A1, okay, will not come into the picture, up to B, okay, right? The ratio we'll see later. So then this one, no, by row operations, okay, this will change. Okay, of course, CB will be same here. CB is 0, 0 for U1 and U2. Only for X1 it is changed. So this will take these values. Which was the pivot element in fact? This one was the pivot element. The other elements were nullified. That is from table 1 to table 2. Accordingly, these values have changed. Fine, by suitable row operations. Cj is always fixed. Please note it. Cj is nothing but coefficients of the objective function 6, 4, 0, 0, 0. Zj will keep changing. Why it will keep changing? See here, Zj corresponding to this location or this position is this into this plus this into this plus this into this. So 1 into 6 is 6 plus 0 plus 0, 6 it will become. Here in this case if you take, so 1 into 6, 6, anyway these two will be zeros because these two are zeros. So 1 into 6 is 6 like. Okay, like that, okay, you have to continue the computation of Zj. So Cj minus Zj is 6 minus 6, 0, 4 minus 6 minus 2. So all this, okay. Okay, what is your observation now? So once, okay, if you get all Cj minus Zj less than or equal to 0, then you can declare the optimality. But here what is happening? So this is fine, less than or equal to 0, less than or equal to 0, 0, 0, but here it is positive. So hence, okay, this will become your new pivot column. So, and once if you get the pivot column, so you can get the ratio. How to get the ratio? Same old formula. Ratio, you please note that B divided by pivot column elements. So that you can write here the equation, this divided by this, in the sense B divided by elements of pivot column. 24 divided by 2, 12. So how we got this? 5 means 15 by 3. So that is 5. 3 divided by minus 1 is not defined. Okay, if it is negative or it is infinity, no, you have to discard, you have to ignore. That's what we discussed in the previous session itself. 3 divided by minus 1 is undefined. Only you have to take the positive ratio, positive and possible ratio. Infinity also you are not supposed to take, and minus also you are not supposed to take. Positive and possible, you remember. Fine. So okay, this is pivotal row. The intersection element of these two, no, okay, this and this becomes PE. What is PE? Pivotal element, intersection of PC and PR. Okay. Now let us identify the entry variable and leaving variable also. The variable corresponding to PC, no, is entry variable. That is S1 will enter. Okay. Then which is the leaving variable? The variable corresponding to PR, that is pivotal row, that is leaving variable here. Fine. So I mean in the next simplex table, why you are going to next simplex table, why you are not stopping here also you have to understand. So you have to continue the process or procedure. So until you get all Cj minus Zj values less than or equal to 0. Here it is not so. Hence you are moving to the next simplex table. Please make a note of it. And while moving from one simplex table to another simplex table, 3 points you have to remember. Pivot element you have to keep it unity, or you have to make it unity. Other elements of pivot column, I mean this one and this one in this case, you have to nullify or make them zeros by suitable row operations. Fine. Okay. Now the procedure is same. All the tables, okay, the mechanism or the working is same. Only thing is it is iterative process, what I can say. I mean, so you are continuing the iterations till you get all Cj minus Zj values less than or equal to 0, but the value is, sorry, the method is same. The process is same. Only thing that you have to remember while moving from one table to another table is this point. That's all. Replace LV with EV, step number 1 or point number 1. Keep the pivot element 1. If not, okay, you have to divide all the elements by the same element. Here it is not 1. Okay, it is 3, no. So, which is the equation portion? For example, here, that is from x1 to this one. 0 divided by 3, minus 1 by 3, it will become 0 by 3, 1 by 3, it will become 3 by 3, 1. Okay. This is 15 divided by 3. Okay, it will become something in the next this one. And this value somehow you have to make it 0. This value you have to make it somehow 0. Always you keep pivot element as 1, then you operate this and this. It will become very easy. For example, so if you make pivot element 1, no, here, accordingly this values will change. How to make this 0? So this is 1, this is minus 1. Just if you add R2 and R3, automatically it will nullify. I mean it will become 0. That's why do not operate these two unless you make P as 1. So once if you make P as 1, then it will become very easy, okay, to make this as 0. So how to make this as 0? R3 plus R2 you can put, because so this will be 1 if you make pivot element 1, no? I mean divided by 3 if you make it minus 1 plus 1. So then this one also you can do it like, okay. So always you operate with respect to pivotal element row, not with respect to this preferably. Okay, you can do that, but it will simplify your job. Okay, if you operate how to nullify or how to make this 0, this is 2, and this will be 1 once if you make it 1, no, this will be 1. So this minus 2 times of this, that is R1 minus 2 times of R2, you have to operate. Always you have to operate the row, okay, where you have to get 0, no, with pivotal row. Please remember, do not operate this and this, okay. So this and this you have to operate to nullify this, and to nullify this, no. So this and this you have to operate. For that, okay, so you have to convert P as 1 first. Fine. Now, so what is your observation? Is all the values of Cj minus Zj are not lesser than or equal to 0. The solution is not yet optimal. Fine. Now, simplex table to same old this one, replace U2, that is replacing leaving variable, what I can say, by S1, y with S1 means that becomes the entry variable, keeping the pivot element as 1, and make the other two elements in the pivotal what column as zeros. Okay, again this is the pivotal, this you have to keep it 1 somehow, and this you have to make it 0. For that, okay, I have given very clear explanation just now. So first, okay, make this 1, okay, then you operate this and this with respect to pivotal row. So by that, so we are going to get this one. So the basis will change. U1, okay, of course the variable will be 0, and S1 also the variable, I mean coefficient of the basis. CB stands for coefficient of the basis. U1 is 0, S1 is 0. This, okay, you have to take it from the objective function. And X1, no, it is 6. X1 is 6. And these values, no, which was the pivot element, okay, which is written with this one, the bold font, okay, 1 is the pivot element. And in that process, 0, minus 1 by 3, all this you got it. And this minus this, no, you have to subtract, no. So in the process of subtraction, so what is the condition? This you have to keep it unity, and other pertaining elements of pivot column, I mean this and this, not this and this. These are different. They are the calculations, but here it is a matrix portion. So you have to make this 0. This 0 means you use some row operations. In that process, these fractions and all you got 1 by 3, 2 by 3, and all row operations. That's what R1 minus R2 something you have done, no? Like that. So even this values also will come like this. Now what is your observation by simplex table 3, or by seeing the simplex table 3? So all Cj minus Zj are lesser than or equal to 0. See, 0, 0, and of course Cj is fixed as I told. Zj, okay, will keep changing. 6 into 1, this 0, 0, okay, 6. This one is, see, 6 into 2 by 3. 6 into 2, 12 by 3, 4. This is 0, this is 4. Like that, the other values. So Cj minus Zj, 0, 0, 0, and 0 minus 2, minus 2, 0 minus 0, 0. So what is your observation? As all Cj minus Zj values are lesser than or equal to 0, so you can declare the optimality, or you can stop processing further. So then how to get the value is, see, though the problem is having two basic variables, so it doesn't mean that, okay, all the basic variables should appear in the basis, need not be. So, okay, you may get optimality well before that. In this problem, see, what is x1? 8. What is b? B is RHS. And x2, no. So, as it has not appeared at all, before arrival of x2 to the basis, you got the optimality. Hence, okay, you have to put that as 0. x1 is 8 and x2 is 0. So, how it is 0 means, okay, that's what is. So, before arrival of, doesn't mean that, okay, all the variables should arrive in the basis. Before that itself, okay, sometimes or many times you may get optimality. So then in that case, okay, you have to put x2 as 0. So then of course Z max, okay, you have to substitute the value of x1 and x2. So in the objective function, so that you will get maximum Z or Z max as 48. That you can see here. This is nothing but Z value. This is RHS, no, B. Okay. So that's all about simplex. I mean big M simplex method we can say. or sometimes penalty method. Fine. So only the difference is, so you have to use the surplus and artificial variables. Other than that, it is nothing but simplex method only. So the concept or the iterations are same. So okay, you have to get Cj minus Zj less than or equal to 0. Only thing is artificial variable, either you have to eliminate, or even if it appears in the basis, no, you should take the value of 0 if at all. Okay. So I take this opportunity to thank you one and all for your kind attention. I hope certainly, okay, so I met with the defined or predefined objectives of this session. So the objectives were like this. So define the surplus variable. Now you are in a position to understand what is the surplus variable and artificial variable. Understand the framework of Big M method. It is nothing but simplex method only. So sometimes also called as penalty method, as I have told, or M technique sometimes they use. M technique means, okay, it's Big M method only. And now we are in a position to solve an LPP, that is a linear programming problem, using the Big M method. And these are the examples for surplus variable, artificial variable, what is Big M method basically. So a worked example, okay. So you have to write the objective function like this, replacing this one, I mean using the variables. First simplex table, it is as usual. This is basis, CB, all these things like. So ratio, please note that B divided by pivotal column elements. Equation to obtain ratio is B divided by pivotal column elements. For example, if you identify this as pivotal column, 30 divided by B divided by 2, that is this one, 24 divided by 3, and so on. Okay. So while moving from one table to another table, why you have to move, or till when you have to move from one table to another table is till you get all Cj minus Zj lesser than or equal to 0. Fine. So three things you have to keep in mind. You have to replace LV with EV. You have to keep the pivot element 1. And by using suitable row operations, pivot column elements, other columns of pivot column, other elements of pivot column, other than PE, you have to make 0. PE only you have to keep 1, that's all. Other elements you have to nullify by using the row operations. Okay, in some cases, no, Zj minus Cj also has taken in many this one, but of course that is also fine. But Cj minus Zj, no, the most positive we can easily determine. That is the reason why, okay, I have considered this one, Cj minus Zj, instead of considering Zj minus Cj. For example, sometimes, no, okay, there may be confusion which is the highest positive or something like. In such cases, this will be easy. See here. So here, the most positive you will take. Only thing is all Cj minus Zj should be lesser than or equal to 0. So the most positive you have to take. Fine. So if you take Zj minus Cj also nothing wrong, then in such cases, no, most negative you have to take as PC. So there may be confusion sometimes in taking most negative. That's why most positive you can very easily recognize. So hence, okay, I have taken Cj minus Zj. So instead of taking Zj minus Cj in like in many references. Fine. So once again, thank you one and all for your kind this one attention. Take care. Have a nice time. We'll meet in the next session.